You are watching The Guy Dawson Show at the World Center of Broadcast Media, WCOBM.com. And this segment, I have a guest. Jill, I was saying that was the first segment that I ever did. Those last two where I did not have a guest.
Oh my gosh.
Those were my first in 2.5 years on the air.
Oh, wow.
But I couldn't last for long. I have Jill Brents, and she's in the studio. She has a show here at WCOBM called 50 Shades of Blonde.
That's right.
And you are the epitome of the title of that show.
I'm 25 shades, and Missy Day is the other 25. And we've been having a blast. It's just so much fun, and our guests have been fabulous. And Guy was one of our first guests on our first show. It was awesome.
I was excited.
Yep, we really appreciated that. We got all our friends to come on and support us and wish us well. So,
what made you want to have an internet show?
Well, actually, we started out talking about radio, and it was actually Missy Day's idea, and she said, well, let's talk about doing this, and pretty soon, she said, well, do you want to do it with me? And then I went, that's all right. I mean, I've done so many different things. If somebody says, hey, you want to try this, I'm one of those that does that. Within reason, I might say. But, yeah, she said, let's do that, and we just started shopping around and looking at different stations and things, and then I kept kind of coming back to WCOBM because of the fact that I know Danny and I just know the reputation, and I thought, let's check this out. And then one day I was on Facebook and I saw some post that somebody said, and hey, you can have your show for 30 minutes, you can do, I think it was $99 or whatever, and I said, oh my God, that's doable. So then, of course, we went to an hour. So, and right now we're just once a month, but we're already booked. We're already booked until the end of October. We're already into November. So once we get to our 6 months, we may just kind of throw in another show. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I was talking about the real value that there is in creating your own platform. What changes have you seen in the way that people look at you now that you have your own show?
Basically, they say, I couldn't do that. That's one of the biggest things. They all freak out and they say, I can't stand the thought of a camera looking at me. It's one thing, if you were having a radio show, I'd be on it. But since you're doing this, but the good part of most people want to come on because it's branding. Not only do we want to share, that's part of what Missy and I do, because we're networkers. We're also, she's a business coach, and we also have our own businesses and things. So we want to help other people. And this is the best way to brand yourself. You're on all kinds of social media. I mean, what more could a person ask for? You can share it, you can have it on your website, all those things. It's the up and coming deal.
Yes, it is, and I've had the opportunity to work with Jill and Missy on the development of their show and explaining, and it's great to have had this experience for a while, to be able to share some of the things that I've gone through in the development of my show for you, so that you can, the learning curve doesn't have to be as high as when you initially get started with something.
And I so appreciate that, Guy, and so does Missy, because we came into this very green and
greener than that screen, and now you're expert.
So that was the whole thing, is trying to find somebody that we could help us, and of course we knew that Guy would be the guy. So we asked him for a lot of information, and he was more than willing to give it, because Guy is a very giving person, and that's what we love about you, Guy.
Well, thank you, and I know that the two of you have so much to share. Everyone knows the two of you, and I just see a lot of people benefiting from being a part of this show.
And we want to, it's about telling your story, because Missy, of course, has something called What's Your Story, where you can get up and you can share your real story. It's not all about business, it's personal growth, etc. And her goal is to get the why. We want to get the why. We want to find out, you know, how you got to where you are today. What made you decide to come to this, in this, say your business or whatever direction you're going. How did you get here? Obviously you're successful and you got to this point by working hard, and we both agree that self-improvement is the best thing that you can do. I mean, you have to get out there and you have to keep working on yourself, because we all have fears, and if you don't face those fears, you're never going to succeed. You're not going to get out there and be here on this show. So right. There you go.
Right, that is a part of the process, because a few minutes ago you were saying that you come across people who say, oh, I'll do radio, but I would never do television, and those are some of the types of fears that people have to overcome to ultimately to grow. Is you've got to put yourself in front of the camera. I mean, through the years I've had a lot of people who will do my radio show but who will not do this. They will not be in front of the camera.
Well, and I also have to say, just from networking experience, and I've shared this with Guy, is that when I started doing it 6 years ago, I didn't even know what networking was. In the first year that I had to get up in front of people and give my 30-second commercial, I thought I would die every single time. You know, it was like, oh, is there a way that I can not show up at this meeting? But I would always show up, and you just have to keep doing it, whatever it is that makes you uncomfortable, until you pretty soon, you know, now you can't shut me up. You can see that. So once I got past the fear, everything was great. So
you are also a part of the Infinity Business or Media Group, which I've known Tony Ferriera for many years. We've been known each other from networking, and it's been really incredible to watch him go from being a printer, and he was very successful just at being a printer, to where he's developed this whole media platform and these networking groups.
Yep, I've been with him for, gosh, it's probably almost 6 years, and I started out with being a sales rep for the printing, and then the next thing you know, we had networking groups. We have 2 networking groups, and then we've gone from the printing to having magazines. We have Infinity Business Magazine, and we have LeVague Magazine, and we are also the printers for Social Register. We have several other magazines that are in the making, that are going to be coming up soon. It's just amazing how everything develops. And then now we have an office that is centrally located, and that makes a big difference. So now, instead of running to every restaurant and coffee shop to meet people, we can go to the office and just stay there, and if somebody can't make their appointment, you're able to start working again if they say they can't make it, instead of having to drive back, you know, and get started all over again. You've got a location, so that's awesome. We're really excited about that, and we have an expo coming up too. So the expo is October 19th, and this will be our second one, and we're combining it with Social Register, and they're going to have their magazine launch the same night as we'll have our Infinity Business Magazine, and that'll be going into our 5th year, so it's our anniversary. So we're excited. Lots of great things going on.
Yeah, I mean, the magazines have really grown. I remember when Tony first got started with them a few years ago, and I mean, they were high quality then, but I think I've talked to you about how I've just seen the content improve, and everything about the magazines have really grown.
It has. It's amazing, and we've done a couple of changes with our Infinity Business Magazine, and it just looks so good. The quality again of the magazine, and we have a really good following. A lot of people that have the magazine in their offices or businesses, and then of course it's online. So yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, along with the events, and I know that Tony's really done a lot for the business community here in Vegas by putting on these networking events through the years. And you had mentioned before that 6 years ago you didn't even know what networking was like, and now you're out. You're a huge part of the community here in Vegas.
Yep, and it takes a while, obviously, to get to know people. Because of it being, quote, Las Vegas, it takes a while to build that know, like, and trust that we all know, because people come and go so quickly that you want to spend time getting to know the person. That's why networking groups are so good, because you're going to get to know, either set up a one-on-one with somebody, or you're going to get to know them a little bit wherever you meet them, whether it be a network group or a mixer or an event. So.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed a talk that you did one time at a networking group, and it was about the etiquette of networking.
Yes.
And for all those of you out there who maybe are just getting started in networking, learning the ropes, there are things that you do that make you more effective or less effective as a networker, and Jill was sharing about some of those things. Will you share with the audience a couple of things that will make you a professional networker?
Well, let's see, there's so many, but I would say the number one thing is that you take a special interest in whoever it is that you come in contact with, whoever it is that you meet. Ask about them. Don't start giving your spiel and handing your business card, because that's not a way to do it. We all have kind of a small community, even though this is a big city, and we want to get to know you before we're going to say, sure, give me your card, I'll give you business. That's just how it is in Las Vegas. But you just have to be really careful when you go to these events, and make sure that if you're an introvert, you don't have to meet everyone in the room. And I think a lot of people think that. They think when they first start out that, oh my gosh, there's 500 people in here, how will I ever get to meet anybody? But you don't have to do that. You can walk around, find 2 or 3 different people, and make those 3 your priority. Get to know them, meet with them, ask them if you can set up a time to visit with them. And then the other thing is, if you're really nervous about it, invite one of your friends, whether they're in business or not, but there's somebody that's more of an extrovert and can pretty much help take the pressure off of you, so that when you go up to meet people, you've got your friend who wants to talk, who will actually say, hey, this is my friend Jill Branson, and introduce you or something. Because I know that it's hard when you first start out, because you don't know what to expect, you don't know what they want you to say. So just basically start with, hello, have you come to this event before? Start asking a question, and then it will all fall into place, because we all know that we love talking about ourselves, and if you start asking questions, that person will be more than happy to answer you.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the key elements of networking that is so underrated is listening. Because exactly. That's the natural inclination that people have, is that they meet you and they want to talk about them. So we're human beings, are wired to want to talk about ourselves. But I think that the way that you can make yourself stand out amongst people in networking, and people see you as being different. Again, in the segment that I just did, when you're trying to make a name for yourself or create a niche in a market, it's about not being the same as others.
Right.
And when you show yourself to be a networking person who truly is concerned about the other person's interest, of course, when you're out there networking, the whole goal is that you're generating business for yourself. I'm not saying not to be interested in generating business, but the more you listen to what the other person has to say and think about how you can help that person, you will naturally gain a lot of clients.
That's right.
People refer business to you because you are interested in them, not so much because of what your product is.
Because there's so many people out there that, as we know, that the bottom line is it's about the money, it isn't about the person. And even though we tell you that this is the best way for you to do, and to get out there and really be concerned about the other person, you have to genuinely want to meet these people. You have to genuinely want to hear what they have to say. You can't just be doing it because that's a script. You have to do it because you care, because you really do care about people and you want them to succeed. And again, that'll just come back to you.
And people can sense that when they have experience in networking, when you've been doing it for a long time like you. You just know. You know when you're talking to a person, whether or not this person is truly interested in just pitching you. So you have these experiences where people will come and they're like dealers, business card. And all they do is they come and don't do this. Don't come and just shove your business card in people's hands. That is bad etiquette. People won't do business with you if you do that. They know. People who really know will look at you and they'll just say, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. They're causing themselves to, they're not going to succeed. No one is going to want to do business with them because they're, I hate to say this, but a used car salesman.
Yeah.
And we can all kind of relate to that because we've been kind of taught about that. Not that they're all bad, because they're not. There's some awesome, as a matter of fact, I know of a couple that are really awesome car salesmen. But it's just part of, I think, of what we've been programmed to believe. So if you've got a new business, please don't come up and say, hi, my name is so and so, here's my card. Wait till people ask you.
There you go. That is one of the keys to networking etiquette, is you wait for the person to ask for your business card.
Exactly.
That shows you're a professional.
Right. Because you're not all thinking about it all the time. Oh my God, here's a prospect. Yay. Here's my card.
And you and I are a part of a networking group
that
is famous and infamous in Las Vegas. It is called the Mob, the Masters of Business. And how did you end up as a part of the Mob?
Well, actually, because I know Lori and I know several people in there, and I didn't even know you were in the group until I got there. So it was pretty awesome. That was one.
Oh, you came after me.
Yeah, I came after you. And it was because AJ, of course, who is our director and was the president at the time, he had been talking to Tony and to me about it. And I said, I'm going to go. Let me go check that out. So we came and checked it out and went, this is an awesome group. So it's just been very beneficial.
A very interesting theme. You know, I've been a part of a lot of networking groups through the years, and the theme that we've developed and the way that we are running that club or that chapter is just, it's completely unique, and we just keep adding members because, again, we're creating that unique experience, something that people aren't getting elsewhere.
And it is good for a new business person because, you know, it's educational. We have education. We have mixers. Speaking of, there's a mixer that's going to be coming up on the 31st at Aces and Ales, and everyone is welcome to come. We're all over Facebook with that, so if you want to check it out, or you can send me information on Facebook at Jill's Jewels or Mr. Guy Dawson. And you can come and be our guest. So it's lots of fun, lots of teasing and things. That's when you know it's family, because people are giving each other a really hard time.
Oh yes, plenty of that there, and it has that family environment. And I would encourage you to go out there. There's a lot of great networking groups around. I mean, the Mob is just a unique experience, but you can find a group that you connect with where the people are trading business. That's another key, is you want to find a group that you see referrals being given, because that shows that the people are looking out for one another. When you don't see a lot of business being traded, then there's an element of selfishness that I found with groups like that, and that won't be conducive to your success in business.
No, not at all. And you can just tell when people get up and it's time to do their gratitude or their moment of you know, what great things happened the week before or whatever, they'll get up and it's just everybody's got something. Well, I did business with so-and-so, I did business with this person, or I just had a one-on-one. They're so awesome, you need to get to know them. You know, it's just really great.
Jill, how can people get in contact with you about Infinity Media Group or 50 Shades of Blonde or any of the other projects?
If you'd like to be on our show, you can send an email to 50 Shades of Blonde. So that's 50 SHADES of Blonde, BLONDE LV @gmail.com. Or you can give me a call at 702-582-9286. And I can give you some more information about that. Or with Infinity, and same thing. You can send me a message to either one of those. You could send me a message better at Jill's, JILS, that's 1L, S, print, excuse me, I have like a bazillion emails. Print, PRINT, FOR, success @gmail.com.
And thank all of you for tuning in to this week's edition of The Guy Dawson Show. Please visit our website, classicommunications.net, to learn more about our public relations and marketing services. And we will be back here next week for another show. Take care of yourselves.